Hello everyone, and welcome to this EC Aquatics video. So about a week and a half ago, I was browsing my school's messaging chat kind of thing, just because I was interested, and I ended up coming across a post that's saying that someone had a betta fish to give away. I was obviously intrigued because, I like fish, as you guys can tell. So I reached out, and this person was more than happy to give it away, and we set up a date today for me to go pick it up. So the person who has been owning him, said that just the apartment that they're renting next year can't accommodate a fish or something like that. They can't keep him, so she wanted to give him away. And then sent me some photos, which I will pop up. And when she sent the photos, I was like, yeah, I need to get this fish. Because as you guys can see, in a tiny little fish bowl that's not even filled up all the way. And just obviously not in a good situation. No filter, no heater, no live plants, nothing of the sort. So I was like, yep, definitely need to go get him. So I will go get him right now. Alrighty, so I just got back from grabbing him from his previous owner, and yikes. So as you can see, you can really see where the water line was comparatively to the top of his bowl. I mean, it was barely half full, and this bowl is maybe a gallon, I would say, maybe. I mean, he's in here. I put him in this bag to carry him back to my dorm. He looks surprisingly decent. I really did not expect him to be in such good shape. He's, he looked well fed, pretty chunky, but his fins look out honestly pretty good. And his color was, it was decent. Obviously there was no heater, no filter, and the bowl did kind of smell of ammonia, which, to be expected because I doubt they cycled the tank. But you can see these decorations that are in here. I'm not gonna need that or that. And honestly, this big shell I'll take out as well. But, a mix of shells and some rocks and a little perch for him. I'll keep that perch in there. But what I'm going to do right now is really fill this thing up, basically all the way, to give him as much water as possible. And then what I'm going to do is add in some plants from my other tank to kind of help filter this thing and get a heater in here. I would absolutely love to get this guy a bigger tank right now, and I will when I get home in a couple weeks. For the end of the semester, I'll bring him home. He'll only be in here for about a week and a half, but I can't, afford another tank. And just for a week and a half, he'll be fine in here. I'll be doing daily water changes. So while it won't be perfect, it will be better than what he's had. And for a week and a half, he will be fine. The big important thing is I'll have a heater on here so the tank will be warm. All right, got this thing refilled with fresh, clean water and got dechlorinator and beneficial bacteria in there. I know this wasn't cycled because the person that gave this fish away gave me all the stuff that they had for the fish. Luckily, they had dechlorinator, which was good. That means he wasn't in chlorinated water, but they definitely did not have any beneficial bacteria. And from the bit of smell of ammonia, the tank was not cycled. I'd obviously rather cycle this tank without fish, but, better to get some beneficial bacteria in there and get this guy in there. And I'll obviously be doing daily water changes to just make sure that he's perfectly fine. And then the other thing that I'm going to do here is my betta fish tank that I've had. Here is my betta. He's doing amazing. But in here, as you guys can see, there is just a ton of Rotella indica. Like, there is an enormous amount, and it grows very quickly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some trimmings of this and put it into that bowl over there, and that will kind of act as some filtration. It will pull some ammonia and some nitrates and nitrites out of the water column and help filter the tank and give him something to hide in, while also producing oxygen and pulling away ammonia. And there's also duckweed up at the top of this tank. I've been fighting a losing battle against this thing for months, but I will add some in to the top as well, and that will help filter the tank as well. So not as good as a filter, but I don't have access to one here, and I'll do water changes and use the plants as kind of a backup. All right, got myself a couple of nice bunches of Rotella indica right here, and now I'm just gonna get them planted. Hopefully this will all stay down. And I'll wipe up the water, obviously. I did not pay attention in physics class in high school. So, whoops. There goes all that water. And then I also grabbed some duckweed that we'll put in here. I know duckweed, isn't great. I don't like it personally because it gets everywhere and it's impossible to get rid of. But it is so easy to grow, and it just grows so rapidly under pretty much any conditions, and it's really great at pulling nitrates out of the water. So that's the most important thing here. So I see no problem with adding it in. And then the last thing and most important thing that I'm adding is this little heater. I think it's a 5-watt heater that I just had kind of as a backup in case the heater on my other tank failed. But this is the most important thing for a Betta tank. I would say more important than a filter, because they live in stagnant ponds in the wild, and they can deal with lower oxygen levels just fine, but they need warm water, and that's the biggest issue with bettas. So I got this heater to make sure that the water stays at about 78 degrees or so, and so I'm going to add that in and turn this on, and then I'm going to get the betta fish out of his little baggie and into his temporary home. Alrighty, and now that all that's done, heater is plugged in, temporary tank is set up. I'm going to get this guy in and out of his disgusting ammonia-filled water and into some fresh, clean water. Alrighty, I got him, and in he goes into his bowl. And then you're probably wondering, oh, won't he jump? Yeah, probably, especially in a small tank like that. But I've got the lid that's been on my other tank, which I drained down a couple inches from the rim, so I'm not worried about that betta jumping because that tank's way down from the rim. So I'll keep that covered. That'll make sure that he doesn't jump out and allow me to fill that water up as much as possible to give him as much water as we can. So I will leave you guys off until then and pick the camera back up as I'm bringing him home and getting him into his forever home. So I will see you then. Alrighty, so it's been about a week and a half since that last clip, and as you guys can see, he's doing pretty good for being in this little bowl. His plants are growing in really well. You can see the duckweed's grown a ton, and that's kind of why I put it in, because it'll really filter the water really well. But now it's time to get him home. So I'm heading home today, so I'm going to bag him up. Alrighty, so I got him double bagged. Yeah, a little bit of duckweed made it in there with him, but that's fine. Alrighty, so I've gotten home. He is now acclimating to his forever home. This is a 5-gallon tank, about 5 gallons. It's actually a converted critter cage. I just set it up. I will have a full build video coming out on it relatively soon. I think within the next couple of weeks is when I should have it up. But it is plenty big enough for him. I've got an old cycled filter in there, and I'll be doing daily water changes and stuff like that to make sure that he's healthy. But it's 5 gallons, so plenty big enough for him. I'm certain he will enjoy it. It's a lot bigger than anything else that he has ever experienced, and a lot nicer. So I'm going to leave him there to acclimate for about 30 minutes, and then I will let him into his forever home. Alrighty, so he has been acclimating for a while now. He is definitely good to go be let in. So I am going to let him in. Alright, I got him here, and there he goes into his new home. He is going to be incredibly happy in here. I'm gonna shut the lights off for him while he kind of settles in, allow him to settle down, and I'll give you guys an update on him tomorrow. I just wanted to give you all an update on how he is doing. So this is the next day after I added him in, and he is doing really well. His colors look just amazing. The camera's compensating for how bright it is, but they look really, really nice. The blues are really glowing really well on him. He looks just fantastic. Yeah, so he looks great. He's doing great. He's active and lively and seems very excited to be in a tank that's actually big enough for him. I mean, comparatively to how big he looked in that tiny little fishbowl to how he looks now, it's just the size difference is incredible. And I think he's gonna really enjoy his permanent home in this little 5-gallon tank. So I hope you all enjoyed and seeing him get rescued. And this should be a reminder that fish are animals and they need proper levels of care. And if you are going to buy a fish, please do research on that fish and make sure that you are taking care of that fish properly, so people like me don't have to come in and save your fish from suffering and dying needlessly. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons, and I will see you all in the next one.